And save time. Call 352-207-2667. Magnolia Bakery on Northern Magnolia Avenue in Ocala. 352-207-2667. Merry Christmas and God bless.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Friday. It's time for
your hearing pleasure, Dumb Crook News.
That's right. Dumb Crook News. Susan, you ready?
I am ready.
It's pretty good this week. Nowhere in the Dumb Crook News, though, is anybody named Kevin. So that's a plus. That's a plus.
It's
So this is Albuquerque, New Mexico. You know, by the way, just speaking of Albuquerque, if you've ever driven out Interstate 40 into Albuquerque, New Mexico, you cut across Amarillo, Texas, the Panhandle of Texas. I like to tell people I can drive across Texas in 2.5 hours. People go, no, you can't. Sure you can. A little panhandle there, right through Amarillo. Takes about 2.5 hours to go through it. But as you come out of Texas into New Mexico, you come up to the top of this mountain, and then down in the valley sits Albuquerque. And at night, when all the lights are on in the valley, because 40 just goes straight down, straight through, and back out. It's one of the most amazing views you'll see as you top that mountain and look down into the valley, and there's the massive city of Albuquerque's lights and everything. It gives you it's almost like, you know, when you're in a plane and you can look down and see the city lights of a town. Right. It's a lot like flying into Vegas, except you do it in a car in Albuquerque because you're so high up in the mountain pass before you come down. So this happened in Albuquerque. Police in Albuquerque arrested 40-year-old Matthew Crowder on Tuesday after they discovered he was responsible for an alleged theft at a local consignment store.
at a consignment store.
Uh-huh. Now, he was discovered because prior to the alleged theft, he had hit on one of the clerks at the store. Actually asked her out on a date. Then he shoplifted. Then he leaves the store. Well, they caught him on surveillance camera, and the cashier goes, I know that guy. He asked me out on a date. He even left me his business card. He was arrested at his place of business without incident. And yes, he was relieved from his duties at his place of business also.
And I'm assuming he didn't get a date.
No, he did not get the date either.
That's a red flag, by the way, ladies.
The amount of items he stole that he shoplifted, $1,300.
Wow.
Took jewelry, watches. Two questions here. One, why was $1,300 worth of jewelry and watches available for somebody to shoplift? Why isn't somebody watching that counter a little closely?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can go into Goodwill here in town, the one over by the mall, and they have that little counter where the watches are and everything, and it's, what's the word I'm looking for? Junk. And they have two people behind that counter at all times. Nobody's smashing and grabbing at the Goodwill, but they got it protected just in case. Not at this consignment shop. But he handed over his business card in an attempt to solicit a date from the store clerk. She goes, I mean, the guy was a goofball. I wasn't going to go out with him anyway, but when he left his business card and they caught him stealing, at least I knew what to give the cops so they could go find him. So the guy had no shot at getting a date anyway and still left his business card. Dumb crook.
Dumb crook.
Authorities in Enid, Oklahoma had to search for a thief who broke into a woman's home, stole $4,000 worth of items out of her home, including a deep fryer.
Ooh. That seems a little awkward to steal.
Well, was it like the little Fry Daddy deep fryer, or was it a big industrial deep fryer?
Right.
I don't know the answer to that. According to the arrest affidavit, Stephen McCarthy was apprehended very easily. First off, he broke in and stole items from the house directly across the street from his house.
Oh, well.
You know, he just walked out of his driveway into her driveway, busted a window out. There he goes, stealing. Police found stolen items hid around his house. The deep fryer was in a utility dryer, in a utility room above the dryer, so it must have not been a really big deep fryer. McCarthy and his alleged accomplice, William Bitch, admitted to the crime. Neighbor Matt Kennedy told NBC affiliates that McCarthy's behavior is out of the ordinary for our neighborhood. But how did the cops key in on him so fast?
Did they have a ring on their door?
Nope.
Did they have some sort of other camera device?
The deep fryer leaks, and they followed the grease from her house across the street to his house. Like Hansel and Gretel, he left a little trail. They were just able to find it. They were able to follow the grease that had spilled out the whole way walking from her house back to his house.
And this is a neighbor. It's not like a
right across the street.
Like not a kid of the neighbor.
No.
It was that's so.
No, 47 years old. No, this is an adult. Right across the street. That led to, hey, follow the corn oil. We got him.
That's terrible.
Why'd you steal the deep fryer? Dude, we had fries. I don't like when my wife bakes them in the oven. I want them deep fried. What'd you have the deep fryer for? Well, I saw on the menu somewhere they had deep fried Oreos, and I figured, why the hell would I pay $12 for 6 Oreos? I can make deep fried Oreos at the house myself. Don't have a deep fryer though, but Michelle across the street, she got a deep fryer. I think I'll go get her deep fryer. Dumb crook. Finally, Maine, the Maine Drug Enforcement Agency, the state of Maine's Drug Enforcement Agency, seized 4 pounds of cocaine worth $200,000.
Ooh, wow. There's somebody upset.
They got it from a New York man and a Maine woman earlier this week. Agents believe the drugs were being transported into the state from redistribution throughout Somerset and Kennebec counties. The agency said in a release posted on Facebook with a photo of the cocaine. John Sedano was, who has the nickname of Papers.
Is somebody else in the gang Rock and Scissor?
I guess. It's the Rochambeau gang. The Rochambeau gang. He was being investigated by the agency based on a tip that he was transporting considerable amounts of cocaine into Maine with Chelsea Cochran. Authorities pulled Cochran's Audi over on the interstate. Cochran, who had already done time for a heroin bust, allegedly had the cocaine and $1,900 in cash. Cops originally didn't realize where the cocaine was being stored, though. They were looking for bags of cocaine. They told it was going to be, 4 pounds of cocaine. That's a sizable amount to put in bags. The couple did have a wedding cake in the back of the car, in the back seat of the car, strapped in. Upon further investigation, the dogs did not hit on the wedding cake, so the cops didn't think anything of it. But in they looking at it, one cop started, as he was searching the car, he smelled a strong smell of coffee. So he tried to recognize where it was from. He kept coming to the cake. It smelled like coffee. He opened the cake box and started investigating the cake more closely. The cake was actually coffee grounds and 4 pounds of cocaine made to look like a wedding cake. You got to give them points for ingenuity.
You have to. That's
and the
pretty
coffee
good.
being mixed in with the cocaine threw the dogs
off. It did. It did.
And the picture of it that I saw, it looked like a swirl, like vanilla and chocolate swirl wedding cake. It looked very, very convincing. It was 4 pounds of cocaine, 3 pounds of coffee grounds.
So am I to surmise that one of the gentlemen, or is this a lady and guy team?
Guy and girl team.
That somebody got upset and dropped a dime on him because they broke up with him, or it's a jaded love story.
That's not said in the story.
Well,
But it was said that the girl admitted that they'd been using the wedding cake delivery ruse.
Oh, I bet.
For the better part of 2 years.
Oh, I bet.
Because think about it, man and woman. What are you doing with that cake? We're just going to deliver it to a wedding in such and such city. Mm-hmm. Sounds plausible. Dogs didn't hit on the cake. The cop just kept smelling coffee and went, "Where's that smell coming from?" And it was made from a cocaine coffee cake. You don't want to eat a slice of that cake. You talk about insomnia.
I'm gonna.
Be a good weight loss program. It's your first cake you'd ever eat you'd lose weight eating cake. How'd you lose weight? Ate cake every day. Really? How much cake you eat? About 4 pounds. Dumb crook. We're going to take a break. When we come back, it's time for Dumb Crook News Florida style right here on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Ocala Business Leaders Incorporated is a group of independent local firms providing a wide range of quality goods and services. Each firm strives to maintain the highest level of professional integrity and 100%